Is ChatGPT a better tutor than me? In today's video, we are going to investigate whether AI will displace me as a tutor in years to come and throw me into the pits of hell of unemployment. How? Via a duel. We are going to use the answers from the 2025 A-Level H2 Math Paper 1 that I did in the challenge and then pit it against the answers prepared by ChatGPT. And then we'll settle the duel via the opinion of you, students who are going to take your A-level later this year. You will compare the two answers and then tell me which one you like better, and then at the very end, we will compare and tally the score and decide who is the one that falls to the sword.
But like Sun Tzu said in the Art of War,
to defeat the enemy, you must know your enemy. Alright, fine. The actual quote is, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. But really, same lah. In other words, what is artificial intelligence? In fact, the biggest reason why I'm doing this duel is because of this. By Linus Pedrinas. Sorry if I butchered your name. Google is quietly launching the future of education. No textbook, no tutors, just live, real-time AI teaching students like a genius friend who never sleeps. 24/7 support, free. Meet Project Astro. Never heard of him. And then he went on to describe a demo where he walks a student through optical isomerism. Hey, that's my area of expertise. Organic chemistry. We don't f around. Really trying to steal my job, huh? Fun employment. And then his biggest claim. In 5 years' time, your smartest teacher won't be human. It will be a multimodal AI, fluent in every subject, every language, and your learning style.
Wow, dream tutor.
I mean, I only teach H2 math. Primary school.
But you know, this can do everything. Not going to lie, this is going to be an uphill battle. Why else do you think I prepared dual pens? For my unfair advantage. And let's be real, we already feel the benefits of AI ourselves. Enhanced decision making. When we can't make up our mind, we go to ChatGPT.
What to eat for lunch?
Automation and efficiency.
Let's just copy and paste your PPR and put it into ChatGPT.
Summarize it for me. You think I don't know? My website got show. Continuous learning and improvement.
What other new excuses can I come up with? I really don't want to take that WA.
And really, the numbers do not lie. According to CNA, teenage students are frequent users too. 84% of secondary school students use AI for their homework, at least weekly, while 29% do it several times a week. The rest of them use it at least monthly. And it further goes on to say, other AI tools often specialize in specific tasks that I might not do perfectly or efficiently in certain situations. You think I don't know you've been using Claude AI for your AQ? But anyway, for example, they use Photomath or Wolfram Alpha specifically designed to handle complex mathematical calculations. Or things like Grammarly, WordTune, CamBuddy, Labster, Perplexity AI, Google Scholar. At this point, I feel like Ip Man. I'm gonna fight 10 of them. So here's the full timeline of this challenge. 5 stages, no shortcuts, no cheating. Stage 1, choosing the weapons. I cracked open the 10-year series and picked 3 questions. 1 from each difficulty tier, a warm-up, a workhorse, and a wild card. No cherry picking questions, I knew I would win. In fact, I have a very unique criteria in terms of how to pick the questions. But more about that later. More importantly, these are the exact questions that any JC2 could face in their prelims or A-levels. Next, stage 2, the first swing. I wrote the prompt carefully. Okay, fine, I asked DeepSeek to refine it for me. And yes, I can use AI too. Not just answer this question, I had to teach ChatGPT how to think like a Singaporean JC student. Syllabus approved methods. Every step shown, Cambridge exam style. Because if the AI uses a method that's irrelevant, that students they themselves don't recognize, the answer worthless. This stage was about precision. Stage 3. The coin toss. I copied ChatGPT's answers word for word, no edits, no fixes, and wrote my own on separate sheets. Then I flipped the coin. Heads, ChatGPT's booklet X, and I'm booklet Y. Tails, the reverse. Even I didn't know which was which. The choice would be blind, it would be random, it would be independent. Just the answers speaking for themselves. And then stage 4, my favorite. Street fight. I went out onto the street, specifically next mall, to look for JC2s who are unsuspecting of what they were walking into. I handed them 2 booklets, same questions, no names, no explanation. Their job, pick the better one, and then Tell me why. What made one answer click and the other feel off? I'm looking forward to some of the most surprising opinions.
The best part.
Every reaction was real. And then the last stage, stage 5, the knockout. We collected every ballot and brought them home. We counted each ballot and then tallied the score. And then finally, the winner of this bloodbath will be revealed. Lo and behold, this is the mission timeline. And the name of this mission? Operation Codebreaker. Alright. Back to where everything started. To be honest, I really thought about the questions long and hard. In fact, I thought about it the last time I did this challenge, which is that I did the paper under time condition for 3 hours, and as I was going through the question, I could kind of see and sense what are the questions that are really good for students. And everything comes down to the criteria I'm going to talk about. Because for this duel to be effective, I needed to pick 3 questions. However, there's a problem. Some questions do not require much thinking. Some questions require too much thinking. Some questions are just too difficult for students to decipher on the spot. And the biggest concern for me is if I pick questions that are rather technical, run of the mill, just doing practice over and over again and there's only one method to solve, there really isn't going to be much of a difference between me and ChatGPT's answer. So I needed something different. Because ultimately, most math questions in JCs are technical, practice-based, differentiation, integration from an A math, you either know or don't know. There are certain topics in there that requires little explanation, and for those questions, they are mostly technique and avoiding careless mistakes due to algebra. And those questions, they won't show the difference between an AI tutor and me. So I needed, again, 3 questions with 3 specific qualities. Number 1, they needed flexibility. Different ways to arrive at the same answer, different pathways that students can take, not just one formula to plug and chug. Number 2, they needed explanation beyond numbers, words that lead up to steps, clear presentations that shows the marker, I know exactly what I'm doing. And then number 3, to me, the most important one, variety of pathways. The candidate has to make decisions and choose the best routes. That's where a human tutor might shine, whereas an AI tutor might surprise us. So again, I went through a 10-year series and straight away I was able to eliminate some of the questions I know wouldn't make the cut. For example, question 8, vectors. And for example, question 4, differentiation. And in the end, I found 3 questions that were good fit. Not the obvious ones, not the ones that you can brute force with a GC. And they are question 2, question 9, and question 11. And here's a brief explanation for all the questions that I picked. Question 2, mainly for demonstration that is geometric. A lot of students forget how to prove that something is a geometrical progression. And I know this is not the hardest question, but again, this question requires explanation and I want to see how ChatGPT may interpret this question differently compared to me and how they will present the answer differently. And remember, we want 3 types of question. Question 2 will be the warm-up. And then the next question, question 12, complex numbers. This is on polynomials and for most students, I don't think this is too big of an issue. Most of you should be able to solve it. However, this question is more than what it seems. For some students, solving this could mean factor theorem, like I did. If not for other students, they don't even care about P and Q first. They just straight away go into comparison method. And it will be interesting to see how ChatGPT will tackle this. And more importantly, the part of the question that makes this a bit more special is how would you answer part A, whether they will mention conjugate root theorem explicitly, and finally part C, how they would present the answer to show the replacement of your z with 1 over w. Part C is the kind of question that I emphasize a lot to my students in terms of presentation. I'm eager to see whether AI would do the same, whether AI would present in a standard that would align with me. And for question 12, a lot of things to do, some parts of explanation, some parts of variation and flexibility. A perfect fit as a workhorse. And the last question that I picked for this challenge is question 9. Maclaurin series. If you have watched my previous video on the challenge, and if you have seen my review of that challenge, I mentioned question 9 very specifically, and I was very proud of my answer. And I said it in the video as well. I look at the 10-year series answer and I compare it to mine. My answer is a variation from that, and my answer is significantly better than what I see in the 10-year series. And therefore, just by that matrix, you are able to fulfill the criteria of it being flexible. There are multiple pathways to arrive at the answer. And this is even more so given part A and B. This is about implicit differentiation. Implicit differentiation, there's a lot of ways to interpret it, there's a lot of ways to simplify then differentiate, and therefore, I'm eager to see what the AI would do compared to what I have done. And like I said, part C, the part where I had significant variance from what I see in the 10-year series answer, is the clear style of this question. I don't think I've seen many people present an answer like that, and I don't think my answer is too far-fetched, and in fact, I think my answer is much better than everything that I've seen from the 10-year series or even in school's answers. And for me, question 9 as a whole fulfills every criteria. Especially if you did it via my method, there is going to be a lot of clear explanation required, and your presentation is going to matter more than ever to show that really understood the question at a much deeper level. So question 9, no doubt, the wild card of this duel. And so, we're done. 3 questions for 1 duel. Let's go. Welcome to stage 2. The first swing. And the main point of this stage is for ChatGPT to generate answers that is relevant to the Singapore MOE SEAB syllabus. They must be methods that are recognized by students. They must be methods that are taught by teachers. And therefore, to ensure that my prompt that goes into ChatGPT is the most accurate possible, I'm going to use AI to do it for me. But I already have the criteria stated out in my mind. I've done all the research, I've done all the analysis, I've done all the deep thinking. AI is going to refine my English for me so that I get the most accurate prompt possible. I already written my prompt down on Microsoft Word, and these are my 3 main requirements. The answers must be correct, and there must be clear presentation of steps of how to arrive at the answer. Second criteria, the style of presentation and method of solving must be within the syllabus stated in Singapore's MOE SEAB syllabus. No other methods are accepted. And the third criteria, for which I think is the most important, the AI writing the answer should keep in mind that he is a Singapore teacher in a local JC taking the exams where the scripts will be sent to Cambridge. He is to do his best and answer the questions like how they would expect their own students to present their answers. And then, lo and behold, this is the prompt generated by DeepSeek for ChatGPT. The 5 main points. Number 1, there must be accuracy and clarity. Number 2, there must be syllabus compliance. Number 3, there must be a clear examination presentation. Number 4, the style and tone. And then number 5, the question format. So what do you think about this prompt? Would ChatGPT give me an answer that most A-level students in Singapore will recognize? And is there anything I can do better for this prompt? Let me know in the comments. If not, let's get down to work. No way. You're kidding, right? You won't believe this. I'll show you. So we have uploaded 2 questions and now I have a problem. Look, you're out of uploads. I need to upgrade to ChatGPT Plus. I am not paying money for this challenge, especially when I'm not at 1,000 subscribers yet. And so, for your benefit, I guess I'll have to type it out on Microsoft Word. I decided to type out the entire thing on my Microsoft Word. And right now, I'm just going to highlight the whole thing, copy, and then paste it in. Above is the third question. Alright, let's see what happens. Perfect, it works. This is harder than I thought it would be. Okay, so I've just finished copying all the answers from ChatGPT using the prompt that I shared just now. First impression, unfiltered thoughts about their answer. When I was looking at question 2, I was kind of concerned because it was very clear what they were trying to get at, and to me, they were going more than what is expected. But then I thought to myself, well, if it goes more than what is expected, maybe it's too long and then it's not succinct enough for your answers, and then it ends up wasting your time. But then deep down, I know I'm quite concerned because if that's the level of answer they're coming up with for this kind of question that is rather simple, complicated questions will be a challenge for me to beat, I thought. And then I move on to McLaurin series. That's when things started looking better for me. And then when it got to complex numbers, I think this is an easy 100% for tomorrow. Easiest A of my life. Hey, can't throw this away yet, I need to photocopy. So, I've just copied all the answers, but who knows? Maybe the students will have voted otherwise tomorrow, and I will end up falling to the sword.
Anyway,
enough messing around. I still have some time. I still have to write the other copy, which is my answer. Okay, so I just got some new pieces of paper and I'm going to write my answers. For my answers, it's going to be very simple. I've already done the challenge a couple of weeks ago, so I'm only going to copy my answers onto this piece of paper with minimal changes. Why would there be minimal changes? Because I made some careless mistakes. If you can recall, complex numbers, I forgot to include my -10. I'm not going to give a wrong answer to a student to vote. That will be unfair. This challenge is about presenting the correct answer, for which some of them will have variation, and that's where the duel really comes in. Students have to decide which one is the answer that they like better, whatever it means to them. And again, everything here will be uploaded onto my Telegram channel. You can check against what I've written and let the students see versus what I've actually done previously. So everything is fair game. If you feel that it's unfair, feel free to let me know in the comments, DM me. But no more time to waste. I have to get started on copying the answer. Let's go. Okay. So now I have my two answers. This one I believe is ChatGPT's. This one is mine. It's very clear which one is ChatGPT actually, now that I've copied everything down. There's a very distinct style about how they present their answers. Right now, I'm going to label each of this answer so that when students pick their choice, they will not know whether it's by me or by ChatGPT. In fact, they won't even know that I'm doing this duel between me and ChatGPT. I'll just ask them for which one is the favorite answers for them. And how am I going to label them? Not by my answer or ChatGPT's answer, not by booklet 1 or booklet 2, not even by booklet A or booklet B. Because in Singapore, A is everything, especially in school. Even on grading the beverages. And we are not going to choose number 1 and number 2 because Singapore, kiasu, everybody tries to be number 1. And therefore, I'm going to label them as X and Y. Yes. And how am I going to label as X and Y? I'm going to flip a coin. You can see over here, this is your typical Singapore coin. This is the heads, this is the tail. The tail is where the logo is, the head is where the lion is. And I suppose this is a typical coin and therefore it should be rather unbiased. What I'm going to do is what I said earlier on. If I get a heads, X will be ChatGPT. If I get a tails, the allocation will be reversed. Without further ado, let's find out who's going to be X or Y. Ready? Let's go! And the allocation is ChatGPT, you're getting it? And I'll be let's go. I hope I win. If not, my center's going down. So now I'm here at Next Mall, going to find out what y'all thought about the answers. Obviously, I need to have the answers, and here I got $5 worth of 10-cent coin. Every time someone picks my answer or the other answer, they will have to put a 10-cent coin into the can, and then eventually they have to vote in the can, and then we'll see at the end of the day who's the winner. Let's go. Sorry girls, 1 second, are your J2s? Yeah. Can you do me a favor, just settle a bet for me? These are 2 sets of answers for your tennis series from last year. Is it okay if you help me just pick out your favorite answer? I'll show you the question obviously, so this is set X. So these topics, if I'm not wrong, is APGP, complex numbers, and Maclaurin series. Have you done them?
Yeah.
Oh, great. So these are the questions, you can have a look. You can hold my iPad. Yeah, so this is set X, you can have a look at the answer first. Okay, whichever you like better, whatever it means to you.
It's so wordy.
Okay, it's wordy. If you like, you can look at the set Y first, but the question 2 is on her back end. Around compare, sure, can compare. You can see a small difference in how they solve, right? Then some of them write a bit more, some of them write a bit less. Sorry?
It's like a short understanding.
Have you seen the other one? There's also other questions for the other one. Like this one, X. Oh, perfect, 1 for 1. Great. I got 1 vote for each, perfect. Any particular reason why you like which one better?
I just feel it's a short understanding. It's like the methods are used more.
Oh, which question is that you do that for? Question 2. Okay.
I don't use this.
How about the rest of the question, like the Maclaurin's question 9, complex numbers question 12?
I would write like that in the exam. So I like this.
For question 9. What about it that makes you want to write in the exam?
Like, it's less wordy and like easier to
Understand?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I feel it's like if I write all this right, then like if I go to another question and come back, I can like I know what's going on now.
Ah, yeah, I agree with you, right? Sometimes it's about checking your answer after that.
But if I like learn the topic already and I know the concept, then I will understand what's going on.
Okay, so anyway, so I got votes here. This is 10 cents. Just for the video only, okay? Just help me put into the can. So this is X and this is Y. You just put whichever you want. Yeah? Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, you want to know where this is from? Answers?
Is it from students?
So X is from...
I chose like.
It's not easy to find JC students, so thank you so much for helping me.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, so if you want to find me, I'm Vantage Tutor on
Okay.
TikTok.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, thank you. See you. Bye bye. Finally got 1. Like that.
I hear them laugh.
unreal. I spent about 1 hour at Next and I could barely find like 20 JC students. And amongst the 20, I swear to God, easily 16 of them were couples trying to hanky-panky. What the actual... Look at this $5 coin that I started with. I don't even have to count it because all I got was 2 votes. I still got 480 left here and 48 coins left. This is way harder than I thought it would be. I'm supposed to release this on Thursday, 2nd April. And right now, as you can see, 30 March, Monday, 4:52. I don't know how I'm going to complete this video, but desperate times calls for desperate measures. I'll see you tomorrow. Time and date now, 31st March, Tuesday, 11:46. I swear to God, I can't make this shit up. Just look. Perfect! Just when I'm down to my last knee and I have to go to NYJC to film the last 48 votes. It's pouring. The good news is it's only 11:48 right now. Hopefully when I leave for NYJC around 2:30, the rain will have stopped and it'll be easier for me to collate all the votes or even speak to the students. Again, not sure if I can produce it in time by Thursday, 2nd April. This is my plan B already and I don't have a plan C. Why does this always happen to me when I want to produce a YouTube video? Hopefully everything will fall into place in time to come. God bless me. As you can see, it's raining and the time now, 31st March, about 1:30. I've been told the students should be dismissing at around 2:30, but not sure how I'm gonna do this in the middle of the rain. I know there's going to be shelter along the way to NYJC for the MRT, but I really don't want to leave my camera out there and I'm not sure how many people will shun me because the rain is really blowing in towards the pavement. So here goes nothing. So again, you all pick Y because?
It's more brief, more concise.
More brief, more concise. How about you?
Oh yeah, why is like easier to understand.
Hey, excuse me, are your J2s? Okay, thank you.
It's just
So which one you all like better?
X.
why?
I said Y.
Make up your mind.
Why?
Okay, so how many Y? 4 Y?
I'm the only X.
You're the only X. Okay, so 4-1. So the review is that actually one of the answer is by AI. Yeah. So the one by Y is by. So thank you for your inputs. Last thing, just help me vote.
Okay.
So very simple. Hold this. This is for Y. Who wants to vote for Y? Just let me get a 10-cent coin for y'all.
I can put my own one in. For sure, we're going with Y.
Yeah. Just put 1 would do. I need 50 more.
Now that I know it's Y, I'll vote.
No, you gotta.
The one over is X, right? No, it's okay. Okay, it's just for my experiment. So what do y'all like about X and Y? I mean, y'all had your own thing, right? Which is that what's so good about Y and X?
Why was clear and succinct?
Oh, okay. How about X? I know someone like X, right? Was it you?
Yeah.
What about X?
I feel like it will be like what I would write in the exam.
Ooh. I find it very detailed.
Yeah, I'm a bit. I like to write a lot.
Alright, thank you so much.
No problem, sir.
Bye-bye. Follow me on TikTok. Bye-bye. Boys, could you do me a favor? Are your J2s? Oh, okay, thank you. See you then. Take care. Bye-bye. We did it. Oh, where's my watch? No, where's my phone? Time now. 31st March, 4 p.m. I spent close to 2.5 hours at NYJC going to and fro, and now I'm back at my block. Firstly, thank you to all the students who contributed, whether it's the J1s who were at first helping me because I was desperate, or the J2s who stopped for me even though they were rushing elsewhere for their remedial classes, whatever. And of course, the group of students who recognized me and asked to take a selfie together. I'm very flattered.
Guys, don't grab the shirt. There's enough of me to go around.
All your inputs are very much treasured by me. I think I got a good sense of what the votes are like. They sound pretty even to me, but I can sense a skew towards one of the can. and most of the feedback were the same. Most students were concerned with whether which answer was more succinct, which one was more direct but at the same time precise, not lacking any information, and also not being too long-winded. But there were also students who preferred the other set that was a bit more long-winded. And I do realize who are the students who picked the more long-winded answers. But more about that when I review everything. So I got a class coming up at 5 PM and it's a new group of JC2 for H2 chemistry. I have to go home, wash up, and figure out how to open these cans. I think I have an idea. Either way, stay tuned till the end to find out which one is the winner, and most importantly, which of this booklet were actually produced by AI, which of them was produced by yours truly. See you in a while. And here we are, back again. So again, 9:43, 1st April. It's April Fool's, but this is no joke for me. Early in the morning, I haven't showered yet, and I decided to do the video first so that later I can edit and hopefully put this out by tomorrow night, 2nd April, Thursday night. And today's job is just to open up the 2 cans. So you can hear the coins are still in there. There's no way I can tamper with it. I don't think I can do anything. The small hole here is really hard to open. And I've been spending the past 24 hours trying to figure out how to open this. Let's open the can. For real, let's try to open up the can now. So hopefully I make a big enough opening. You can see a small hole there. Open up, come on. Don't try this at home, kids. You may cut yourself. Alright, so I've just opened the first can, random. I totally forgot to mention which one I'm opening first. So this is for can Y. Maybe I should get an ASMR of this. Let's go down. Ready? Let's go. Oh no, let's not touch the coffee there. Okay, you can see that it's empty right now. So let's count the votes. So there will be 1, 25, 26, 27. So I think we have a winner already, but let's just confirm that all 50 votes were in. And this is not some bullshit that I made up. So we're gonna have to open the other can as well. And this is for X. Alright, now it's cracked open. Ready? Again, this is for can X. Alright, empty. So let's count the votes. So there's 1, 2, 20, 21, 22, 23. So can X has 23 votes, can Y has 27. Total tally, 50 votes. And so, I think we have a winner, and that's can Y. So congratulations, booklet Y is the winner! But the real question here is, who is the author behind booklet X, and who is the author behind booklet Y? But all of that will only be revealed later today, when I review everything that the students have said and give you my feedback about what I thought about the answers and whether this was a fair result. And most importantly, will I really go into unemployment in time to come? Will AI replace me? Will AI be a better tutor than me? Will AI be a better exam candidate than me? Or even worse, will AI be a better human than me? I'm going to go back to shower and we'll find out later. And it's time for the review. So time now, 1st April, 11 PM. I just had a long string of classes and to be honest, I'm exhausted, but I'm also very excited to share with you my findings from this experiment. But I think most of you just want to hear one thing first. Who is set X and who is set Y? And the answer is, drum roll. And the allocation is... X is from ChatGPT, Y is from yours truly.
I chose Y.
Okay, so how many Y? 4 Y?
I'm the only X.
You're the only X. Okay, so 4 to 1. So the review is that actually one of the answer is by AI. So the one by Y is by me. And why I'm doing this is because trying to find out something. It was a hit! In other words, set X is by ChatGPT and set Y is by yours truly. Now, I'll be uploading all these answers onto my Telegram channel. You're gonna see a soft copy of it and then maybe you can cast a vote yourself on my Telegram channel. So let me just go through some of the answers that were given by ChatGPT first and my thoughts of it before I share with you what I heard from the students. So 3 questions were selected. Question 2 was the first one and most students shared the same consensus as me that question 2 clearly the AI one was much better because even though the concept was direct and simple, the way they presented it, everything was listed very clearly. Let the first term be A, let the common difference be D, and then they slowly started solving everything. Every step was clear as day. You wouldn't get lost reading it, and like one of the students mentioned, if I were to check my answers again, this would be the fastest way I can check my answer, and therefore I can move on to the next, and that will help me in turn compensate for the time that I spent writing such a more detail of an answer. And to be honest, when I saw question 2's answer, I thought this was going downhill for me really quickly. But then, things started to change when we get to question 9. Question 9, the implicit differentiation. Don't mention you, but even just me myself, when I was looking through the answer by ChatGPT, it looks very tedious, it looks very long-winded, and really I got lost in the answer. You can see for yourself, the differentiation that they did looks very complicated and took very long. That's why it took almost close to 1 page, whereas mine, as I always tell my students, you simplify then differentiate. And it came out much quicker. And again, the style of this question is not A and B, because many people will have different ways of solving this using implicit differentiation, various manipulation. But for part C, I'm not going to speak too much about mine. I have my reasons for why it's so good, and I've spoken about it in another video. But if I look at the ChatGPT's one, I feel that it's very confusing. I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to say, and I'm surprised that most students were able to understand them, or at least they claim to. If you ask me, again, I could be biased. You can cast your vote. I feel my part C is much better than a 10-year series one and even this one in AI. And then finally, when we get to question 12, and when I saw this answer from ChatGPT for question 9, my confidence started going up. That's when my confidence hit the peak. I knew that this was going to be easier and easier for me to get the votes. If you look at how ChatGPT solved it, first part, no issue, conjugate root theorem. Second part, they started using the sum of roots and product of roots. I'll be surprised if any of you learned this method in JC, because when I was in school taking my O-levels in 2008, in my old A-math syllabus, we used to have this theory about sum of roots and product of roots. I never understood it. Most of the time, I just applied the formula and hope for the best. And then eventually, no surprise, it got taken out, and I'm very surprised that despite my prompt to ChatGPT, this kind of answer still came out, and there were still students who said that was something that they would do. And me being me, I didn't want to influence their vote, but I just started looking at it and I just asked them, wow, so you seem to know sum of roots and product of roots, and they didn't quite seem to address that. So maybe that was not what they were actually looking at, which means the part that really gave them the confidence to know that the ChatGPT answer was better is actually part C. And to be frank, part C, if you look at mine and ChatGPT's one, I don't really think there's a difference. They presented it as well as I would have liked them to. Nothing really much to complain. But the biggest gripe for me that I cannot get over is part B, using the product of roots and sum of roots. If you guys can understand this, I'm truly impressed. So those are my thoughts. But what did the students think? And for most of the interaction, one of the most common feedback that I heard is that students were looking for a more succinct answer. Most of them. There were students like the one from ASR who was looking for the more detailed answer, and her game plan was very clear. Do as well as I can for the question, go as in-depth as I can, so that when I come back to check, it'll be easier for me, I'll be less confused, and then that will save her the time. Whereas other students would say, well, if I understand this well enough, I know which part of my answers that I can actually cut and ditch. You still communicate the same way to the examiner. And for most of them, their common denominator is this: if I understand the chapter well enough, I wouldn't have to write so much, and I know exactly what to condense and what to not include in my answer so that I can get the maximum amount of marks without compromising on my presentation or the time taken to do it. And I agree with most of them. And that's when the biggest insights start to appear. Remember I said at the start I was struggling to get any students to stop for me, and in the end I decided to turn to the J1s. I realized most of the students who voted for answer X were the J1s. In other words, it seemed to suggest to me that answer X is a better teaching material than mine. In other words, maybe ChatGPT is indeed a better tutor than me. In short, based on what I found, if you don't understand a chapter too well, you tend to go for booklet X, where there are more details that will guide you through. It seemed to direct you towards the answer, maybe because it just seemed longer. Because for most of the J1s, you haven't learned the concept yet, you wouldn't even realize that product of roots and sum of roots you don't actually learn in school. And the next biggest insight that I realized, when I shared with a J2 that a lot of students who voted for X were saying that this is more detailed and is better, given that the previous set of students who were J1 chose X because it was more detailed and clearer and seemed to be a better answer, she just looked at me and said, they don't know what they're talking about. When they actually learn the chapter, they will know that actually Y is better. I swear to God, the J2 say one, not I say one. And again, this further supports the idea. maybe X is a better teaching material, whereas Y is an answer booklet that's catered to scoring the marks while keeping the time taken to be at a minimal. And I know this experiment is not perfect. I do realize that most students were just looking at question 2 simply because it's the first question smack in their face. Furthermore, it's the shortest question. It's the question that requires the shortest answer. Most of them were just looking through question 9 and question 12 for the sake of it without really looking too much detail into it. And to my chagrin and to my disappointment, nobody pointed out about my Maclaurin series answer. That really hurt. But maybe those of you who are reading this online on my Telegram group channel, you will learn to appreciate and have more time to decipher the answer, and then maybe you learn to appreciate my answer a bit better. And I get it, this is not the perfect experiment because I didn't interview all J2s. I had to turn to J1s who had no idea about most of the chapters here, and like some of the students pointed out, I should have stapled them, I should have organized them better. A lot of things that I could have done better. I agree with you. And of course, all this feedback I'll take into account for my next experiment. So again, the vote tally is 23 votes for the Set X answer booklet by ChatGPT, and then 27 votes for the Set Y answer booklet by yours truly. And therefore, I had a slight victory, and maybe I won't be put out of a job by Astra, ChatGPT, AI. But as AI continues to grow, maybe this will become better. As AI continues to grow, maybe you don't even need me anymore. So again, for full transparency, you can find all this answer booklet on my Telegram channel. And for the students who decided to help me out, thank you so much. And this is a special announcement. If you are a student who participated in my experiment and you don't have a tutor, you are not at a tuition center, and you are looking for someone to help you for H2 Math or H2 Chem, I'm willing to offer you a free trial class just to show my appreciation for helping me out when I was struggling to get the 50 votes. Thank you so much for participating in this experiment, whether by voting, by looking through my answers, or even just by watching me. Your support means a lot to me. Your support pushes me and encourages me to put up more creative and useful content to help you prepare for your A-level journey. Nothing else. This is Yao Le from Vantage Tutor, a class above the rest. Take care. Also no birdie.
Do your parents know?
Okay, time now. 1:45. I don't think you can see it. Boys, could you do me a favor? Are you J2s? Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you.
It's just this one. So let me see.
So the AI's answer, you're right, it's a bit long-winded. Okay, thank you. See you. Bye-bye. But finally got one. Oh, my mic is on. No, got on.
I hear them laughing.